guys the 6 steps to a Lovegasm. So a Lovegasm is the businesses you talk about, it's the products, and it's not about money. It's really just things that you really enjoy, right? So a service that you're creating, it could be hostel finding, could be roommate finding, could be food, health, whatever it is, recruiting, right? It's just something you enjoy that other people are like, wow, you solved my problem better than I could have expected. So there's 6 steps to doing that, and we'll go through each 6. So we'll come back to this. Number 1, I call it the hells, right? And so the hells is a hell yeah and a hell no, right? Or for the Mormons, it's like heck, right? I'll just say frick now. I have a Mormon friend, so I'm just saying frick. And so a hell yes are rules for your business. So Shopsons, if you haven't been there, it's in Essex Market. They have 19 rules to eat there, right? You cannot bring a party of more than 4. They will not serve you coffee. They will not do substitutions, right? Same as a brothel, right? They will not do non-fat milk, which I prefer. They will not put in sweetener. They will not do anything that they don't want to do to make a great product, right? So not just to be negative on the hell no's, you have hell yeses. What do we really stand for, right? So AppSumo, we're not going to send out any emails that we don't personally want to receive. And there's not a product that we'll put out that we don't personally stand on. So that's a hell yes. So let's talk about yourselves, right? As you guys are starting a business or maybe running a business, what's a hell yes and a hell no? You have a specific question?
Let's talk about Shopsons. So
yeah.
They have these rules, and if you don't follow them, they kick you out.
Yeah, they won't let you do.
You have to order food. You can't just get a drink.
Yeah.
So I was going to get like a $10 smoothie there because I wasn't hungry, but I wanted a smoothie. And I didn't read the rules, and they like kicked the whole party out. It was 3 of us. And even when I said like, fine, I'll order food, they were like, no, you guys are gone.
How'd you feel about that?
I told everyone, and they were probably more intrigued. We definitely went back more, and the people I told went back because of it.
Right? It's funny what we respect and what we admire. Right? Right? Like we really like people like, what's that movie? Clark Gable, Gone with the Wind, where like at the end she comes back and he's like, fuck no. I haven't even seen that movie. It's just my brother was trying to help me get over a breakup. At the end of the movie, I guess this girl was like talking a lot of shit to this dude. And that's exactly how they were. It was like the ghetto version. And in the movie though, she comes back in and says, fine, I'm changed, and I love you, and I'll be with you forever. And he's like, no. No, you didn't serve me right. Right? And so he said hell no, and he stuck by it. Right, so what are you guys? What are some of the hell no's and hell yeses? Like people running a business or starting, what are things you'll never, yeah, please.
So I'm starting a tea subscription business. So this place is not a place where you can choose your tea. We basically ask you certain questions about your lifestyle, and we choose tea for you because we believe that we know what tea is best for you.
Good, what else?
For example, we're building a community for college students where they can exchange textbooks, electronics, furniture, like a marketplace.
Cool.
Or hell no would be, this is only for students, like you cannot get in here. But Facebook started like that, and then they expanded to a bigger market. So maybe their hell no became a hell yeah. Does that change within time, or?
That's more of the marketing,
okay.
Right? But if you're always gonna like do what's right for the student, that's what like Google's don't be evil, right? They stand for something, and then when they're evil, people call them out, right? And they have a discussion about it. And so the marketing, I think that's right. Every major successful business started out in a niche, which I think most people miss. Everybody, Dell, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, they all started very tiny. Like Microsoft did Fortran DOS for nerds. Facebook did Harvard, right? IBM did typewriters or these mainframes for like very niche things. Not mainframes, but like typewriters or whatever it was. All right, so you guys good on the house? All right, so this is the 6th step to the Lovegasm. And what I want you to do with these is think about where you're ranking 1 through 5 on all of them in your ideas and in your business, right? Because I'm pretty sure you're missing on 1 or 2. 2 is value. So value is not about things being expensive. And it's not about things being cheap. It's about having the right costs, that someone's getting 10 times more value than if you're actually charging them. Right? So value could be your underwear. I always talk about, let me see which one. I'm wearing my Saks today. Does anybody wear Saks? You wearing Saks, bro? Can I see? You wearing Saks? Oh, I have the white pair. They get dirty. No, these are the pro lunch.
I have good toilet paper.
Do you? Do you use Star toilet paper? Oh. No, I love soft toilet paper.
Saks is a very good product.
What's that?
We'll talk about it.
Okay. We'll swallow. So Saks is like, I would never think I'd buy Saks underwear, but for $25, that's all I wear Saks and Ex Officio, and now mostly Saks. Right? And $25, it's awesome. I love my underwear, right? I love my smart wool socks, right? Here's a really good test to know if something is valued correctly. Do you not notice the price? That is a very easy test to see if something's valued at the right price point.
I love my Vitamix.
Yes, yes. But anybody else here have a Vitamix? I just bought one, so I'm excited to you.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a Vitamix on this side? What is up with this side versus this side? This side is way... I'm just saying, they have Vitamixes over here. Maybe that's what you guys need on this side. Maybe you go buy some Vitamix and share. What else? This side. What do you love? Like, what stuff do you own that you're just like, great value? I can't believe I only paid this much for it.
My iPhone.
iPhone. I was going to say, you're using it exactly, right? You're tweeting at Noah Kagan, is that what you're doing? Yeah. Sexting? What else?
Boxy.
Hold on. Yes?
The Boxy.
Boxing?
Yeah, the
Like-
Boxy dongle. So I get
Boxy dongle.
live TV without having to pay cable. Love that thing.
How many people have you told about boxing?
A lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
My Dropbox account.
Dropbox, do you have the premium?
Yes.
Yeah.
Me too. How many people have Dropbox premium? Holy fuck. That's a lot. So number 3, consistency. So this is why I think A/B testing is evil, is that when you have inconsistency for your customer, bless you. Think about going to the store and you're paying different prices every time. Why would you, like, how often would you go back to that restaurant? I wouldn't fucking go back. Right? And it's good, you know, there's a bar called Beer Exchange in Austin, where the whole point is the prices change, and so they can do it. Right? Because I know every time it's like, oh, there's a special on that beer I can buy. But the point is, consistency is so key in a business. Right? It doesn't mean you have to be boring, and you can, you know, I talk about this a lot with Adam. You can spice it up, but you need to have a consistent experience every time. Right? Prices are the same, support is the same, experience is the same. Yeah.
Does this mean auctions just fundamentally violate that principle and don't work?
If that's the true core of the website, then no. It's just that every time I go, I want to know that it's an auction. That's my expectation. So I'd say maybe tied to the expectation of the people visiting your business. Yeah.
Saying that price A/B testing, or all A/B testing?
Price A/B testing. Think about it this way: is it how I fucking hate cliches because it's so easy to say, and you have to internalize it. But just think how you would feel
I
experiencing.
agree
it.
on price. I didn't know if you're talking about like donating.
No, no. I mean, we have like this crazy algorithm that we still do for like images and headlines and subheadlines and copy. Because really, the way I look at that is that it's clarifying our communication, and it does make us more money, it makes the partner more money, but also we're explaining better, right? Anybody else? Consistency. What other examples? What are businesses that are consistent? Everyone cites Starbucks.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
In and out.
Right? Every time you eat there, it's the same. And so the consistency is just setting the expectation for the visitor. Like we ask people's email, right? So the expectation is we're going to send great stuff to your inbox, right? That's the expectation. And the consistency is when you start opening emails where you're like, you know, it's funny. I bet a lot of you got, actually, let's hurt my feelings for a second. How many people have unsubscribed or stopped really checking out single emails? Can you raise your hand? Yeah, raise it high. Raise it high. Yeah. Why? I know the answers, I think, but why? Please.
Just like the similar products.
Right? What else?
Just the services just apply.
Okay.
Not enough value.
Not enough value. Okay.
It's shocking because I've actually bought a few of them, but I think it's just the volume of them. I just was
Yeah.
overwhelming, but I've actually given plenty of money for it, so I don't know. It's weird.
What else? This is interesting.
I stopped finding new services.
But you joined for a reason, right? Or we got your email somehow for a reason?
I feel like you did it first. You know, like it was always like, oh, wow, that's really cool, and I hadn't heard of it before. And then after a while, I was like, yeah, okay, somebody's teaching me something.
Yeah. You guys are gonna go home and cry after this, right? Right? I'm like, oh, my life, oh, it
It's
sucks.
still better than mine.
Really? That's a bad thing to say. We're gonna talk, okay? Come hang out. No, there's a, yes.
Stop using email to communicate with anything other than people.
Yeah. So with AppSumo, there's all 6 of these that we've failed on, right? And we're a business. We're humans. Like unfortunately, we're not robots. Otherwise, we'd be really consistent. And we're moving towards robots. No. The point being, though, is that when you join, you had an expectation of getting something awesome at a good value that you can discover that'll help you kick more ass in your job or start your business or whatever it was. You had that expectation, and we fucked it up. There's no like that's it, right? And then we recognize, you know, there's a point number 5 that'll go to what we're doing about it. And so it's having a consistent experience where every email is like 4 or 5 hour debate that it makes sure it's worth sending. Or like last night, I got the emails go at 12, and I got a message at 11:30 like your email sucks from one of the guys on the team. He's like, you have to rewrite it. And it's one of those times when you're tired and you don't want to do it, and you're just like kind of want to go to bed, watch Pornhub, whatever you want to do. I don't know what you're doing, but I don't want to know. Some people I do. But the point is, like, that's the point where I had to go a little bit further, because it's like, yeah, we're going to contact people, and if we want a consistent experience where they're going to keep opening emails, we need to make sure that we're sending the same emails, that people are fucking delighted. So authentic to me is it's mostly about yourself as a business entrepreneur, and the business should represent you. So I'm a little vocal, I'm a little weird, I'm OCD on certain things like toilet paper, I really like double ply, right? So in our office I bought toilet paper and like we have our own covers, right? But also the business website reflects me, right? Like if you meet me, like you're probably like, wow, you sound like the absolute email, you're kind of weird, a little zany, right? So authentic is being yourself with the business, right? So there's a barbecue place in Austin called Franklin. If you go to South by, go to Franklin, there'll be a fucking like 8-hour line, right? It's sort of like a nerdy Jewish guy, which is kind of surprising for barbecue. But the point is that the business is him. And what I mean by that is that he hasn't opened up 5 stores to expand. He has 1. And there's a line. It's from 10, and it's open from 10 a.m. till it sells out, which is about 1. And you always have to wait 2 hours. He doesn't try to franchise, doesn't try to expand, doesn't extend the hours, because that's what he wants. So run your business the way you are, right? Like AppSumo, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. It got very ego-driven. We have a big office. We just let go of most of the team, right? We let go of most of the team on last Friday. I can talk about that if you guys want. But the point was that I was running the business more ego and like, oh, I want to be showy and this is a business, versus like, why am I waking up to do this each day? Why are we being so aggressive with shitty products? Why do we have copy that just sounds like shit? Right? And it happened last week where there's a product we were about to send out, and it was 11:30, and I was like, we can't do this. Right? It's not authentic, it wasn't me. And one of the things that sparked it is a friend of mine said, AppSumo reminds me of Ross. Right? It's like a bargain bin, but you can get like a Tommy Hilfiger jacket. But it's like at the bottom. And I was like, that's not what I want to be like Target. Right? I want to be like, maybe Urban Outfitter? Is that a cool place to shop? Right? Nah. Okay, whatever. Right? Or like Bonobos. Better? Alright. The point is, like, I wanted the business to reflect how I am. So, number 5, surprise. So you said you like, so what happened, why I think surprises are so important for a Lovegasm is that it gets you to the 1%. Remember that pyramid of value and running a business, you want to be at the exceeding expectation? So the reason that I had a story that was kind of interesting, I was in Vegas and I dressed up like a professor, right? I was wearing purple clothes, I had framed glasses, I had one of those old hats. I cannot tell you how many women came up to me. It was awesome. And but what it really showed me though is that when you're not going to the middle and being like everybody else, that's what gets remembered, right? You don't want to do it every day. If I dress like a professor every day, you'd be like, oh, okay, it loses its meaning and its specialness, right? But when you actually wear Kid Robot, what happens? People will ask you about it. When you wear like different color Sperry's and not the standard ones, people say something. Like clothing-wise, if someone says like, hey, that's a really interesting outfit, that's an interesting piece, that is something special and unique. It's a surprise, right? And a lot of times in business, there's not a metric around it. And like with AppSumo, we had a golden ticket thing where we'd email people, like one random person a day, and it would be a $100 gift card to AppSumo. And then people, like, no one ever really responded to it, stopped it. No, we said it, no one ever said anything. So, but we just did it, we're like, this would be fun to do, right?
What was the open rate on that?
We didn't track it. But people never responded. They didn't even like claim it. We're like, all right, that kind of sucks. But I'll tell you, like, one of the things we've done with some of our partners at AppSumo is we send cookies. $25 cookies, right? They're really good cookies. It's
Better be.
No, it's a box of them. But we send them to her, and it's a box, and she puts our logo on it, she writes our name, and she writes a little note. But for $15, I can't tell you how many doors that gets us into, right? Or how much appreciation people get just from a $15 box of cookies. You know why? Because everyone else sends them a shitty holiday card. Like, that's not even with real signatures, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? I fucking hate those companies. If you ever send that, or if you know a company like that, you should not work with them. Right? This is one of the things I'm struggling with startups, is that we all work our businesses like they're going out of business. Right? Like imagine if your business had to be around in 10 years, you would try to focus on all these things because you're not in the rush. You're not in the rush to just, oh fuck, I have to do this, I have to kill myself. It's like, dude, you have 10 years. Don't trip. Chill out. Right? So do surprises for your customers. They will remember it. Think about the places you go. Like, have you traveled anywhere recently? Yeah.
Yeah, I just went to China.
You went to China. What do you remember about China? What are some of the highlights? Top 2. Hookers. Obviously. Number 2. What's that?
Great Wall.
Great Wall. And do you know why? Do you know why the Great Wall? You remember?
Everybody talks about it.
Yeah. Well, no, you don't see it every day, right? Like I don't go to the Great Wall every day, right? But it's something you don't walk down New York Street. You're like, oh, Great Wall is there. That's cool, right? It's a surprise. It's unique. It's different, right? So with your customers, what are they going to remember about your business?
Details, you don't specifically target it.
Yeah.
Like someone tweeting about them, like just saying their name, someone who has followers, something like that.
The bar for your customers is so low that you basically have to do nothing to get them to like you. But everybody else out there, the 99% that didn't take the time to come to this and invest in yourselves and your businesses, is doing that, and that's why they go out of business. It's not complicated. You find something on the top of the totem pole, you exceed expectations, you follow some basic steps. People will want to tell you about their boxy, or their underwear, or the restaurants and cookies they go to. Right? All right, and the last one, this is really simple, personal. It's so simple. One of my favorite restaurants in Austin is called Cisco's. And their food is okay. It's not anything special. It's just like a normal, shitty Mexican diet restaurant, right? And it's whatever. It's forgettable. Do you know why I go back once a week?
They know exactly what you want.
That's it. That's it. There is a place down the street from me called Las Casuelas. It's literally like 100 steps from my place. And I was going there twice a week for a chicken fajita plate. And I'd order the same chicken fajita plate every time. No sour cream, no cheese, double beans, no rice. It's Noah, right? I'll walk over and get it in 10 minutes. Every time I'd call, I'd explain myself. Every time I came, they never said anything, right? Do you know when the last time I've been there is? I don't know, because I haven't been. I haven't gone in months, right? I go out of my way not to go there. And all they would have to do is be like, oh, you want the Noah? Right? I'm actually trying to get Taco Deli to name a taco after me. That's ego. So I need to make sure I really want that. Make sure it's the authentic Noah that wants the real taco to be named after him. But the point is, make it personal, right? For the first 1,000 people that signed up for AppSumo, I contacted them. And you hear stories about this stuff, but you guys really need to internalize it. Like, these people provide your livelihood. They're wiping your ass with your business, right? Or whatever else you're doing, the lean startup machine, if you're running other things, right? Personal is so simple, and it's very profitable. Right? You're a business, you need to make a profit. So this company, Cisco's, they just say, oh, hey, Noah, you want the regular? Or just bring it out to me a lot of times. And when I bring people there, that makes me look good. Right? So I'll give you another story of personal. There's a company called Tagged. There's social network, who cares? And I wanted to meet with them. I wanted to meet with them when I was doing Gambit. I wanted them to use this for their payments. And so I researched the guy. I took the time to make it personal. So Greg loves to run. He does ultra marathons. So I emailed Greg and I said, Greg, if you give me 15 minutes of your time, I'll buy you running shoes. I'll buy you whatever running shoes you want. You just have to give me 15 minutes. He said, you can come. So finally he responded, he said, you can come now. So I took a cab all across San Francisco, rushed, met with Greg. Gave him my pitch, listened to him, tried to sell him. He said no. He's like, come back later. I was like, all right, fine. But he appreciated the shoes. Then what I did is I signed him up for a running magazine. Right? So every month he's getting a magazine from me and thinking about me. Right? Maybe on the toilet, maybe at breakfast, maybe wherever. Right? It's very personal and it's relevant. About a month later, Greg calls me. He's like, you have 10 minutes to get to my office. It's like, all right, here we go again. We got to his office. He's like, we're going to use you guys. Right? That alone made us over $500,000 profit from him using us. Right? And all I did was $85 shoes, $15 a month running magazine.